Mounted on this Recaro Tech Sim, it really lets you see the whole aspect of the seat. So we just got our brand new shipment in of fresh Recaro seats, the freshest of the fresh, and these are brand new, the Recaro Podium seats. And I know it doesn't look like much in here. We got it bagged up, trying to keep it nice and safe because this thing is a beaut. It is the only shell seat that is not only approved for use on public roads, but also has FIA homologation. So since we can't really look at this one, even though it is gonna be wicked sick with these all new laser base mounts and everything else, I'm gonna show you the one inside on our sim because that one's not wrapped up. And so the best part about this seat, like I was saying, is just how good it looks. I mean, mounted on this Recaro Tech Sim, it really lets you see the whole aspect of the seat, because normally the back of the seat's kind of hidden in the car. Right here, you can just see every aspect of it. You know, it just gives it a real cool look. You can see the carbon shell all the way through and between them all. And like we're saying, one of the only, if not the only, carbon shell, road legal, FIA homologated racing seat. And so we have 4 of these bad boys that are gonna go into the Altimaniac. And then we have this one here, it's on the Recaro Tech Sim. And it just lets it be like a nice little trophy piece for the whole shop. So on that note, I'm gonna hop in, take another couple laps. You're just in here, just banging these things around. Hooey! Yeehaw! Looks great, welded in!
Welded in.
Close enough.
Yeah, so definitely gonna have to do some notching of the floor pans to get these rears to latch onto that tube.
No problem.
Big deal. And then the front didn't really make that much sense to me because where's the thing? Unless that goes on there.
That's what goes there. It goes whoosh.
Oh.
He didn't put the notches in some of these. I think because he knew that they might have to be like shaped.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh, grab that. All right, in. Oh, we got it. Yeah, the lock. Oh, yeah. Drive in. Give me we need a jack and tilt. Think you're maxed out. Bring it down. All right, put the jack on it. You got down, yep. Put the jack on it. 1 second. Okay. So here's the part where the transmission doesn't ever come out.
One and done. It never has to come out, right?
Nope.
It's like a Subaru where it's just easier to pull the whole engine.
I think we're okay. This needs to get the kink taken out of it to match that. I didn't really remember before. And then that means that cut needs to move over to like where it is right there. And having that move over helps you up there too.
Yeah. Do things. Cool. Shifter once I sat in the car, I realized it was really far back. And so I gave Rick a call and he said we can actually flip the whole shifter housing around. You just have to put this notch in it so it clears the housing. So I'm just gonna try and whittle this down real quick. I did a quick hand cut to get it close. Did a quick hand cut to get it close. And now I'm just coming in to take it a little bit more and give it a nice machined edge. Alright, so now I got you. So move this guy in.
You're not supposed to use a file backstroking.
What? That's supposed to what?
Backstroke.
Backstroke. Alright, might fit, dude. This might be it. So now we got our suspension all hung up on the Altima, and it's looking pretty slick. We have our PBM custom control arms with the double A-arm setup that we wanted to go with on this car. Just very adjustable, very easy to get the camera dialed in, get the toe dialed in, and it's just a much easier system to use than what some multi-link setups are. So double A-arm setup, very good on the traction, very good on adjustability. And then of course we have our BC coilover on here, and this is on such a steep angle, which allows us to run we're gonna have to put a much higher spring in this thing because of all the extra weight we're gonna have in the car with the rear passengers. But having this point so far out and having it at like almost a 45-degree angle is going to give much more compression on that. And so we're gonna have to up the spring rate a lot to handle that extra load. And the nice part about it is that it does look like it's a very short shock, which is cool because it keeps everything compact in this little setup. So there's no big shock coming through here. We get this room back for just having some wheel wells or things like that to make sure that we have good coverage on getting all the debris that's gonna be shooting off the tires, keeping that contained. So when we're down here adjusting these coilovers, we are actually going to see a lot more movement out here, and you get almost an inch of movement out here is going to be like a quarter of an inch, maybe less than half an inch for sure on the actual shock. So it might seem like there's not too much stroke on here, but it's because of the angle. It's going to allow us to have a very small compact suspension setup and still get the wheel travel that we're going to need. Although on this car, I'm looking to have it be very stiff, very low, because I'm gonna run the car like DTM style, V8 supercar style. The body very, very low to the ground, and so it's gonna be on a very stiff spring. We're gonna be relying heavily on the tires to give us the grip that we need. And so instead of having all the extra motion that we typically have on the Formula Drift cars, this one's gonna be very flat, very stable, and so we don't need to have that big crazy amount of suspension travel that we would need in the FD car, worrying about hitting the bump stops, things like that. We're just gonna slam this thing to the ground, set it real stiff, and just utilize our tire pressure to keep this thing hooked up. But not too worried about it. It's coming together very, very well. We have our 6XD transmission in there. Things are looking good. We were able to get the turbo manifolds placed, and we got our G35 1050s all lined up and ready to rip. On Dylan's car, it did 900 wheel, so it's about 1100 wheel, or 1100 the engine, I mean to say, for one. So we're gonna put two of those on here, and that's gonna be 2,000 horsepower worth of turbo for sure. Definitely a little bit more actually, since it's gonna be pushing through half the motor, So basically, to explain further on that, when you have you know, a lot of displacement pushing through a turbo, it kind of chokes the engine down. So when you have a big turbo and a smaller engine, it can actually breathe more and make more power. So if he was able to do 860 all in on that car, on half of this engine, it will probably do about 9 to 950, no problem. So you're gonna get almost 2,000 wheel horsepower of turbo capability on this thing, but we'll find that out in the future. Over here, yeah, we got the suspension all kind of hung off on this side so we can get these few pieces plated in and ready to rip. But on this side, it is looking good. This is the whole setup, the proper setup. The Nismo calipers, the custom brake rotor hats, the custom rotors, and of course the billet rear knuckles, just all the really cool fancy stuff. So looking forward to seeing this thing really come together. The next time these parts come off, it'll be for paint, and then they're going on for good. So it's gonna be great.
Came up with how to do that. That's pretty interesting. Eddie Van Halen car.
That's the new scheme. I like it. Let's see, this is what Jimmy's been working on. So he's got all these little tabs in here that hold that plate in. And then the exhaust dumps right here, big exhaust, and then the little one for the wastegate.